the right man won.
That round 9 was drama. I mean, it's probably one of the most exciting rounds I've seen for years in heavyweight fighting. It was unbelievable. He battered Fury from one side of the ring to the other side, and the ropes stopped him from falling down.
So do you think the referee should have either left him or stepped in and stopped the bout?
Left him.
He was a punch or two away from finishing the fight, wasn't he?
And he had a clean shot on Fury. He stopped punching. Now, you don't stop throwing punches, you know yourself, until the referee gets hold of you. You just keep punching if the bell hasn't gone. Tyson was saved by the referee and then saved by the bell. But that's boxing.
He's absolutely completed boxing in twice over, cruiserweight and heavyweight.
He is the generational great for me. Usyk is the main man. He's the leader of the pack. I just want to say Tyson Fury fought an amazing fight. He's given Usyk the hardest fight I've ever seen Usyk involved in. It was brilliant. Did himself proud, Tyson Fury.
It's going to be tough for him right now, I think, facing this loss. It's not nice losing. And he'll have to sort of maybe go back to the drawing board, reevaluate it, whether he wants to chase a rematch with Usyk, who knows.
He's undisputed heavyweight champion. He's completed everything he needs to complete. Now is the time for Usyk to retire. He might decide differently, but this would be a perfect ending to what's been an absolutely perfect career. I don't think the rematch happens. Hello and welcome to The Verdict with me, Carl the Cobra Froch, and the Saint, George Groves, my old mate, joins me again. We're going to look straight back at Saturday's fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. The first unified, undisputed heavyweight title fight in 25 years. How you doing, George?
Yeah, I'm good, Carl. I'm real good. I'm not jet lagged because there's only like a 2-hour time difference, but I'm a bit frazzled. I literally went from the venue Saturday night straight to the airport. We left there 4 or 5 in the morning, got to the airport on a flight home with Derek Chisora. So me and him kept each other company via Bahrain, and now I'm holding it together just to have a little chat with you, mate. But I'm good. The show was really good. Sad not to see you out there. We was looking for you. Everyone was looking. Where's Froch? Where's Froch? Obviously with
mate, for me.
With your little bants with John. John was looking for you, wasn't he? Big John.
Big John.
Big John was looking for Froch. So but the show was good. It was a really good show.
We'll get straight into that, mate. Split decision win for Oleksandr Usyk against Tyson Fury. I thought it was a close fight, but a split decision victory against Tyson Fury. What was your verdict? What did you make of it all?
Well, the right man won. The right man won. Oleksandr Usyk. On my card, I made him as a winner. I think the first 3 rounds are the swing rounds for a lot of people. People who I trust their judgment. Some had Fury 2-1 up. Some had Usyk 2-1 up. I think I might have even had Usyk had the first 3 because he came out, he was super sharp. While they're both trying to settle into the fight, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of nervous energy floating around. But he sort of backed Fury up, which if you're gonna be in favour of that, I think that was clever. And he landed more shots. No real big heavy hard shots, but he did land more shots. From 4th round, Carl, I think that's when Fury sort of found his groove. He sort of came into his own. He backed Usyk up a couple of times, and he was winging in those body shots that were going in really well. Sometimes behind the elbows, sometimes in between the elbows, through the middle. He sort of caught him with an uppercut at one point that sort of knocked Usyk off balance. So at that point, I felt, this is Fury's fight now. Fury's in this, and Fury's got the measure of his man. He's using his size really well. And he looked much more comfortable than Usyk did. Usyk looked like he was burning up more energy than
I feel like
Fury
that happened round 6 and 7. I thought that happened. I thought the first 4, I agree with you. Usyk won the first 3. The argument that he could have won 1, but by the time it got to round 6, for me, I think Usyk, if he was being generous to Fury, I think Usyk was 4-2 up after round 6. So going into the second half of the fight, I thought he was 4-2 ahead. But Tyson started the second half of the fight really well. I agree with exactly what you said there, George. Tyson started to come into it. The body shots, that uppercut, crunching uppercut on the chin of Usyk. How tough is he? He took that flush. That was the same uppercut that knocked Dillian White, El Sparko. Remember that one, that big uppercut that flattened him? And Usyk swallowed it up. He had a bad couple of rounds, a close round, a bad round. And then I think it was round 8 and round 9. It turned around. What do you make of round 9?
So round 9 was just an incredible round for him. Swung it totally in his favour, didn't it? He Usyk doesn't look like he puts a lot of power into his shots in the first half of a fight. The way I would describe him is someone who adds throughout the fight. Every round he's building. He's trying to make those little adjustments, trying to get his range sort of just finite. He doesn't fall over the front foot, so he's happy just to place the shot to start with. But I think maybe because Fury was doing better and because he might have thought, I've got to push this big guy, carry around this big rig hard in the last few rounds to gas him out. He puts a lot more spite and venom on them shots, and he catches him with out of southpaw stance. I think it's a loopy left hand that starts, and it's the ropes that keep Fury up on that first big shot that lands. He slumps, bounces off the ropes, and then he's in all sorts of bother, isn't he? For almost the rest of the round, he's falling from one side of the ring to the other.
What did you make of that when the ref was getting involved? Because the ref kind of got involved, didn't know whether to kind of stop the fight or break him up, or it was involved, running the referee where he didn't need to be. And Usyk, I thought, was really playing fair game, because he battered Fury from one side of the ring to the other side, and the ropes stopped him from falling down. And the ref kind of went to jump in, and Usyk was probably similar to me when I fought Butte, thought the ref was stopping the fight, but actually the ref was administering the 8 count. Which you can do if the corner or the ropes hold you up and stop you from falling over. The ref can give you a standing 8 count, because they're not usually a standing 8 count in professional boxing. And the ropes did keep Fury up from falling over. The ropes kept him up. I think if he'd have fell down, he'd have struggled to get up. He'd have got up, because we've seen it against Deontay Wilder. But I just thought it was a bit messy and a bit confusing. People were saying to me where I was doing my stream from, they were saying, "What happened there? What was the script?" And I went, "Well, this is exactly what happened with me with Usyk." The referee saw that the ropes were holding up Fury, so he's able to give an 8 count. But I just thought it was like...
So do you think the referee should have either left him or stepped in and stopped the bout?
Well, I think when he slumped back onto the ropes to start with, just let Usyk do the work. Usyk was really fair.
He was a punch or two away from finishing the fight, wasn't he?
And he had a clean shot on Fury. He stopped punching. Now, you don't stop throwing punches, you know yourself, until the referee gets hold of you. You just keep punching if the bell hasn't gone. Tyson was saved by the referee and then saved by the bell. But that's boxing. But it didn't change the decision. Usyk went on, and the right man won, like you've said. But that round 9 was drama. I mean, it's probably one of the most exciting rounds I've seen for years in heavyweight fighting. It was unbelievable. I thought both men did themselves really, really proud. I thought Tyson Fury was fantastic. Bit of a slow start. Got into it in the middle round. Looked like he was taking over, dominating Usyk for a few rounds. And Usyk does what Usyk does. And when he's having a bad round, he turns it around. He did it with AJ. He had a bad round, then came out and whooped him for a couple of rounds and nearly stopped him at the end of that second fight. In fact, the first and second fight, it looked like he was close to stopping Anthony Joshua. And he did that. He switched it up a couple of levels, opened it up on Tyson Fury, and nearly got him out of there in round 9. And I just thought it was a mesmerising performance from somebody who looked like they was slowing down. He got it with a big uppercut. The body shots were going in. Tyson Fury was getting momentum. And Usyk, fair play to him, he was able to flip that switch. But there's no sides here, there's no favourites. I wanted Tyson Fury to win because he's British. I wanted them belts back in England. I don't care about Big John Fury, the fighting man. I don't really care what he thinks of the Cobra. I just want the best man to win on the night. And, Oleksandr Usyk was the better man on the night. And what a fight. Really, really enjoyed it.
Did you score the fight? Did you have a scorecard?
I did score the fight, yeah. So I scored it. I mean, I had it 2 rounds, and that, when you consider, I've scored it by 2 points. I had Usyk 2 rounds ahead at the end, and when you consider one of them rounds was a knockdown round, that's how close it was. So, to explain it simpler, going into the last round, if Tyson Fury would have won that last round on my card, I could have made a case for a draw. I thought Usyk won the last round, and that's why Usyk won the fight, because it was a round up going into that last round. So he finished strong, Usyk. I mean, it was a close round, the last one, but he finished strong. And for me, he finished 2 rounds ahead on my card. But that was with the knockdown. So it was a close fight. I think if the fight would have been a draw, Tyson Fury would have been flattered for that. It would have been, he would have been the guy that would have been happy with the draw. Because I think that...
but there would have been a big scream up. Do you know, like, with what happened in... No, but what happened in the 9th round, Carl, where he looked like he was finished, and if the referee didn't decide to give him a standing 8 count, Usyk might have been one or 2 punches away from stopping him.
Yeah,
so if it had gone the distance, it ends up being a split decision. The WBC judge gives it to Tyson Fury, if another judge had done the same, or one judge had gone level and it ended up being a draw, do you think then there would be controversy, or do you think it is what it is?
Listen, if it was a draw or if Fury would have won that fight, just from like the general consensus of people's opinions on that fight, I think there would have been a big scream up. People would have been going mad. I've not spoken to many people that aren't on Team Fury that have said Fury deserved to win that fight. I mean, everybody who's in positions of authority, the radio, the TV, people who have actually got a voice, a recognisable voice in boxing, they all say that the right man won the fight, and I totally agree with them. Oleksandr Usyk deserved to have his hand raised at the end. He won the fight. He beat up Tyson Fury. He beat him up. Let's not make any bones about that. That's the hardest fight he's ever been in. And the same for Usyk. It's probably the hardest fight Usyk's ever been in. So both men did themselves proud. And thankfully, the scoring was, well, two of the judges saw it right. And the right man had his hand held at the end of it. So Tyson Fury called it one of the daftest decisions in boxing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think he's really going to have a lot of sympathy saying that. But Tyson Fury is a character who says, extreme things, and he'll cotton on with it. And there might be a small legion who sympathise with him and say the same, but the general consensus is that it's not a daft decision. There's a lot of people out there who are like pro Tyson and wanted Tyson to win and thought Tyson won, but even then I don't think those guys would say it was a daft decision. But maybe this is all part and parcel of it, Carl, to initiate a rematch.
I think the only thing Usyk would do is retire. He'll either have the rematch or he'll retire. He's got nothing to prove. He's beat AJ twice. He's now beaten Tyson Fury. He is the generational great for me. Usyk is the main man. He's the leader of the pack. If you're going to look back on the generation of heavyweights, like this generation of heavyweights, you're going to look back and say Oleksandr Usyk is the main man. He's dominated. So if he now retires, which in my opinion I think Usyk should retire, he's done everything he needs to do. He's made enough money, and he's mastered the game. What's he done? He's clocked boxing. He's completed it. There's nothing left to do. Undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight. 37 years old, getting towards 40 now. Is it that sad? When I retired at 30, I was nearly 37. Like I was 4 weeks off 37 when I retired. But I think Usyk's at that age where I know how you feel in training camp. I know how you feel in round 7 and round 8, and he's completed boxing. Hang up the gloves, turn it in. But that's my advice to him. I don't think he's got anything left to prove. The rematch proves nothing, and Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury and the rest of the heavyweights, they can all fight for number 2 position, because that's what it is. Let's be honest. Usyk's the main man.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Carl. And if I'm Usyk, then if I feel like I've done it all, then you might walk away into the sunset. You can't criticise him for that. He's absolutely completed boxing twice over, cruiserweight and heavyweight. If they do fight again, both fighters might be different. That's the only thing that's really intriguing for me. Fury might be slightly different. Usyk might be different. Now they've had 12 rounds together to feel each other out. And Fury had spells of success. He might be like, right, well, now I know next time the tactics have got to be this, this, and this. So pressing off the front foot. And many said it, and it's easier said than done, of course, when you're in there with another elite level fighter. But if he comes out and he takes the centre of the ring and tries to back Usyk up, it's so much harder for Usyk to have any success off the back foot than if you're going to let him press you, because he's shorter, he's got to cover more distance, he's got to be sharper. But if you're backing up, then he can just keep creeping in and out, and hit you. Whereas if you're trying to push him back, every time he comes in, you hit him saying hard. That's a much harder way for him to try and win that fight. And as I say, of course, easier said than done. And Usyk is a master. He's a genius of a fighter. So he might find a way to change and adapt and nullify that sort of approach from Fury. But if I'm Fury and I'm thinking I want my belts back and I want to finish my career on a win, and I want to put this wrong that is the only loss of my professional career, he's just got to work to his strengths a little bit more. Because a lot of the pundits, a lot of experts in boxing were saying before the fight that a good big un beats a good little un, and I thought that was a lazy comment, because they're not the same fighter having the same fight. Because if that's the case, then the bigger man always wins. But they're different type of fighters, so it doesn't work like that. But if Fury wants to come out and fight like the bigger man and press the fight, I think he has a bit more success. Carl, where do you put Oleksandr Usyk's career achievements then? Where would you place him? Like, if you're going to put him through history on some sort of pound for pound list, would he feature there? And if he does, how high?
In the heavyweight division, I can't stick him up there on the all-time greats. I can't stick him up there with a Lennox Lewis even, because, well, Lennox Lewis is one of the all-time greats, but you can't put him there because of his CV at heavyweight. But if you're going to ask me where do I put him pound for pound, he's number 1, 2, and he's in the top 3. Usyk is. He has to be. Maybe the top 2, but there's some great fighters out there with Terence Crawford and UA and fighters like that and fighters that are coming through now. I mean, there's some big guns around, but you've got to say that Oleksandr Usyk, you sit down and look at him, look at his paperwork, look at his CV, look at who he's boxed at cruiserweight, because the cruiserweights, when he was in that super series, you was in the same super series, wasn't you, at super middle? He was in that light heavyweight one. When you fought in that, there was a load of tomato cans in there. Nobody. Callum Smith gave you a bit of a fight, didn't he? But he went on to, he got beat later on when he stepped up at the top world level. You did a little smile there. I'm not having a go at you. But
No, we'll go for it. Yeah.
The cruiserweights were mustered, all of them. And Usyk dominated that and became the unified, undisputed cruiserweight champ. Then he steps up to heavyweight. Fights a couple of tomato cans. Chuck Derrich's all in with that if you want, because he's a gatekeeper and he got battered. But he was in a close-ish fight, but Usyk was finding his feet at heavyweight. Then he beats AJ twice. 24 rounds, probably lost 2 or 3 rounds. Now he stepped up and fought Tyson Fury, and he was under the cosh, Usyk. He was getting caught with shots. He was losing a couple of rounds. He lost rounds. But he pulls it out of the bag and destroys Fury, nearly stops him. The referee could have jumped in and stopped the fight. Usyk is pound for pound number 1, number 2, all day long for me. I can't see anybody beating him. I think if Tyson Fury fights him again, the writing will be on the wall. I just don't think Usyk's got anything to prove. Do you think Tyson Fury took the loss well? I mean, on the night it was okay. After telling everybody to F off and F his team and I don't care, it is what it is. Get paid and get laid and go home. He says things sometimes and you think, just put a sock in it for a minute. What do you make of that? Do you think that's sour grapes? Do you think he means that? Or do you think he's just still upset that he's lost the fight?
Yeah, I mean, it is, and you think Fury at this stage of his career would know how to carry himself in a post-fight interview. But obviously he's never lost either, so it's hard. It's hard to be magnanimous in defeat.
Do you think his dad was any in his head? Because Big John Fury, the fighting man, the bare knuckle champion, self-confessed. Do you think that all the shenanigans at the beginning and that disgraceful behaviour, because that's what it was, disgraceful behaviour, do you think that played a negative part in Tyson Fury's? When you're about to go into the room, because I had my big brother to deal with now and again. He was sometimes throwing his weight around and getting a bit leery and a bit mouthy, because he used to have a drink and that. And I used to go into the ring and think, I remember when I boxed Andre Ward and Lee had a go at Virgil Hunter, and he was like, and I just thought, why has he said something to him? Like, I wanted to kick Leon. I think I did kick him in the changing room. I kicked him in the legs as if to say, shut up, shut your mouth and get out of the changing rooms. And it puts you off a bit. Do you think Big John Fury's behaviour put pressure on Tyson, or do you think Tyson Fury just thinks, you know what, I back my dad 100% and I don't really care? So I just think it all plays a part mentally.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thought, Carl. He's had his dad around for the most part of his career, a lot of the time, and his dad's always been what his dad is. Dad's got a lot more notoriety of late because, well, you two are going to have a scheduled roll arounds on the cobbles one day. Who knows?
Listen,
but
his dad had a good look round the room, and there was a couple of big units in there looking at him and giving him a stare. And he picked the smallest, skinniest kid and dropped the nut on him. So that tells you all you need to know about Tyson Fury's dad, Big John Fury, the fighting man.
But I thought Tyson boxed great, so I don't think his dad had really that much of a negative effect on him. He looked like he was buzzing during the ring walk.
That's a fair shout, yeah.
And yeah, I haven't seen John or I haven't seen any of the quotes after since. But yeah, it's a new experience for Tyson. He's been a popular fighter now for a long time. He's been since Wilder won. Where he gets back into shape, gets a dodgy decision, gets up off the floor to get a draw when he should have won, and he's been a hero for a lot of people ever since. So it's going to be tough for him right now, I think, facing this loss. It's not nice losing, and he'll have to sort of maybe go back to the drawing board, reevaluate it, whether he wants to chase a rematch with Usyk, who knows.
I just want to say Tyson Fury fought an amazing fight. He's given Usyk the hardest fight I've ever seen Usyk involved in. It was brilliant. Did himself proud, Tyson Fury. But Oleksandr Usyk, unfortunately for Fury, was brilliant. Just a masterclass. He's undisputed heavyweight champion. He's completed everything he needs to complete. Now is the time for Usyk to retire. He might decide differently, but this would be a perfect ending to what's been an absolutely perfect career. I don't think the rematch happens. Right, thanks a lot, George. It's been great chatting to you. And that's been it for another episode of The Verdict. Make sure you leave a like, share and subscribe to this channel. And we're back next week for our verdict on Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, the rematch.